So despite being severely delayed, which has prompted renewed threats of industrial action and balloting therefore by the BMA, the DDRB's latest pay recommendations for doctors in England have finally been made public. So what's the verdict? Ultimately, a 4% pay rise plus a consolidated £750 a year. So what does that mean? Let's try and put some numbers in context. The 4% is a percentage increase to your current salary, and then that £750 is a flat increase. Crucially, it's consolidated, which means that it's permanent and added every year, not just a one-off bonus. So let's work through an example. I'm just about to start ST1 training in the summer in a new specialty. That comes with a current base salary of £49,909 a year. To get the new figure, multiply that by 1.04 to account for the 4%, and that gives £51,905. Then we need to add that consolidated £750 to get the new base salary of £52,655 a year. That's an overall increase at that pay level of around 5.2%. So when would you as a doctor expect to see it? Well, the pay increase that's been recommended applies to the 25-26 financial year, which means it needs to be backdated to the 1st of April 2025. Realistically, you can expect it to appear in your June 2025 payslip at the earliest, so that's next month as of time of recording, which it should still be noted is far sooner than this has been seen in previous years. It is important to note that this uplift only applies to salaried doctors. That is to say that trusts are under no obligation to increase bank or locum rates, so don't expect those to change unless your trust says otherwise, or indeed expect any back pay if this is your form of employment. So just now on screen, I'll show a table of the expected figures across the different grades and different nodal points according to the contracts. You can pause the video here to find your own. While you're looking at that, there are two key things that I think it's important to note. The first is tax brackets. So for many, including those starting at that CT1 or ST1 level, your basic salary will now tip over the £50,000 a year threshold, meaning that any earnings above that level will be taxed at 40%. That's an increase from the basic tax rate at 20%. Anything that you earn over that £50,000 threshold will be taxed at an additional 20%. So while your gross pay will rise, your pre-tax salary, your actual take-home net pay increase may be more modest than you expect. So do not rapidly change your lifestyle expectations. The second thing to talk about is pension contributions, because if you're on nodal point 4, that is the CT4, ST4 seniority level, you will now cross into a higher pension contribution bracket. That's 12.5%. So again, an additional deduction to account for before you start going out and spending your new money. Then perhaps the most important bit, is this a real terms pay rise? This is the tough bit of the calculation. With RPI inflation currently at 4.5% as of time of recording, this uplift will account to a real terms pay increase of just 0.5 to 1% for most doctors in England. That is a very long way off full pay restoration. That was the agreed trajectory that brought the last round of resident doctor strikes to a halt. I do want to be fair to the DDRB here. They did acknowledge in their report that resident doctor pay still lags behind comparable professional roles in law, finance, pharmaceuticals, data science. The roles that are used as what they call market comparators to determine how much doctors should actually be paid. And finally, we need to come back to that £750 consolidated increase. Because it's a flat amount, it benefits lower earners more, that is, less senior doctors, because you can imagine that someone earning £30,000 a year that gets a consolidated pay rise of 750 is getting a proportionally larger bump to their salary than someone who is on £90,000 a year. So that means that consolidated increases aren't really fair in percentage terms. They are the least generous for senior doctors who are earning more compared to a uniform percentage uplift would be. For example, if all doctors, no matter what their grade was, were given, say, 4.5%, 4.8%, something like that. So although it looks good on paper, it's not quite the win that it might seem for everyone. You actually want to avoid consolidated pay increases for uniformity across the profession. So let me know down in the comments what you think. Does this feel like progress or more of the same? And on that very important note, the ballot for resident doctor strikes in England opens in just a few days' time. So please go to the BMA website, make sure your details are correct so that your ballot card gets sent to the right place. And a reminder that a vote for industrial action does not mean you need to strike if you don't want to. What a ballot for IA is voting on the right to strike. If the ballot fails, then nobody can strike at all. A ballot can still pass, which enables other people to strike, even if you don't want to yourself. So with any IA ballot, you should be voting yes for maximum opportunity. So let me know down in the comments what you think. Does this pay recommendation feel like progress to you or more of the same? And if you found this video useful, please give it a like, subscribe for more updates just like this one. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.